Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Nisprapanchaya Santaya Niralambaya Tejase Sankaram Sankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam Sutrabhasakratam Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha Ishvara Gururatmete Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyavad Vyapta Dehaya Sridachinamurtaye Namaha Sridachinamurtaye Namaha Sridachinamurtaye Namaha Om Aneka Janma Samprapta Janma Karma Vidahinaha Atma Jnana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Dhyanamalam Gurulo Murte Pujamalam Gururo Padam Mantramalam Gururo Vakyam Musyamulam Gururo Kripa Musyamulam Gururo Kripa Musyamulam Gururo Kripa. So, Hari Om Tassat, Hari Om Tassat, Hari Om Tassat. So now we are going to study today Shiva Sutras on the topic of the Saivagam. And we have been studying in the past many sutras. Today also we are going to start the sutra number, I think 13. Atmanan, I think more maybe, no?
I think 16 or 17.
You're right. Maybe Vitarka Atma Jnanam. So sutra number 17. Yes, that's right. Sutra number 16 already we have been discussed. You see, sutra number 16, Sudha Tattva Sandhana. Sudha Tattva Sandhanat Apasu Sakti. Va Apasu Sakti. You see that Sudha Tattva, Sudha the pure principle or the pure consciousness, that known as highest Shiva. And Sandhanat means here they translate by constant awareness, the continuity awareness of the pure consciousness. And it is known as the Shiva consciousness. Apasu Sakti, it becomes like one in whom the binding power existing in the limited self is absent. You see, by the constant awareness of the pure principle, he becomes like one in whom the binding power existing in the limited self is absent. So let us go a little bit further. Sudha Tattva means here the Parama Shiva or the highest Shiva. The high Shiva means the pure consciousness, the absolute consciousness. Then they see that pure principle of Shiva or the absolute consciousness. becomes aware of the universe, that itself, that is Shiva. He becomes the Lord of the world like Sadashiva. And like him becomes Apashu Shakti. One is whom the binding power designated by Pasu. Varsukya, Bandha Shakti is absent, Avidya. So when you say Apasu Shakti, Pasu means here the Avidya. Avidya. But when you say Apasu, it's the absence of Avidya. When you understand Pasu, Pasu means they translate as the animal. Animal means Avidya. Actually, it is real Atmanan. Pasu means they don't have any knowledge, they don't have any wisdom, but also they survive, They survive, they have the life, and they are aware of their own children, their family, so on, certain things. But so it means the Lord Shiva, the pure consciousness, who is free from all kind of avidya. We have to translate like this. So what is the Shiva? The pure consciousness, the absolute consciousness, which consciousness is free from all kind of avidya. This is Sudha Tattva. Sudha Tattva Sandhanat Va Apasu Shakti. Sudha Tattva, the pure consciousness. Sandhanat, the constant awareness. So those who constantly aware of the pure consciousness, the absolute consciousness, is known as a Sadasiv, a person itself Sadasiv, and becoming free from the all kind of avidya. You see that the person who realized this consciousness, he became Sadasiv. I am Shiva. Like sometimes you say, Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. It means I am the pure consciousness. I am the absolute consciousness. And I am free from all kind of avidya. Free from all kind of avidya. Free from the animal instincts. Means master of the, you can say master of the knowledge, master of the wisdom. Wisdom here is master of the Atma Jnana, like yesterday. And Swami explained to all of you. And once you are, what is avidya? What is vidya? What is knowledge? So once you have knowledge of Atma Jnana, that is the pure knowledge. Which pure knowledge leads all the way to the enlightenment and to be free from all kind of karmas, which karma leads to the suffering or miseries. So knowledge, when you see, that is many kind of knowledge, many kind of knowledge or wisdom, so on. But the wisdom of Atma Jnana only help us in order to free from the bondage of karma, suffering and miseries. It's known as enlightenment. So therefore, whatever we have knowledge, acquired by or received by or recognized by the senses, by the mind, by the matter, is all are avidyas. All are avidya. So avidya leads all the time to suffering, nothing else. Therefore, you have been studying avidya smita ragadvisa avinivisa klesaha. That is one part. Avidya leads all the way to sufferings. No matter what kind of knowledge we have, no matter, except knowledge of Atman. Only the knowledge of Atman, knowledge of Atman leads all the way to be becoming free from all kind of sufferings, all kind of avidyas. So those who realize the pure consciousness, the absolute consciousness, is known as Sadasiva. Sadasiva. So Sadasiva means the eternal consciousness. Who, if you realize the eternal consciousness, the absolute consciousness, you become eternal yourself. becoming Sadasiva, becoming Shiva yourself. And what is the Shiva? The pure Sudha Tattva. Sudha is the pure. Tattva means your pure consciousness. And those who are aware of the pure consciousness is known as Shiva itself. Therefore, we say Shivoham, 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 Satchidanandoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Vihiyatmaham, Amaratmaham. So I am that, the pure consciousness, and I am immortal. I am that, the pure consciousness. So the pure consciousness is free from avidya, is a pashu, and a person free from all kind of bondage of karmas, all kind of bondage of avidyas. The same idea has been expressed in another this quotation, Lakshmi Kavalannava, in the following says, O goddess, all the religious disciplines together with the joyful exclamations of praise, which are prescribed for the success of initiation, are not worth even the 16th part of that awareness which is centered on you. The beginning of a tantra tried to also explain. One should consider the entire body or the entire world simultaneously without thought construct as a form of a consciousness. He will extend the emergence of the highest consciousness. This is called Saktopaya. The same idea has also been expressed in the following verse in the Spandakari. You know, there are different commentaries when you study, so they explain in their own perspectives. But we have to be very clear. And Shiva, that we have been studying. What do you study? The first sutra of the Shiva Sutra, Shiva is the Shiva Chaitanyam. What do they say? Chaitanam Atma. What we study? Chaitanam Atma. So then what they after that they say? The second refers to Shakti Chaitanyam. So same time it's Chaitanam Atma and Shakti Chaitanya itself also. How it is happens? So Chaitanam Atma, the soul itself, the pure consciousness. And that how one can recognize, that recognized by the Shakti itself. Shakti is the Chaitanya. Shakti is the Chaitanya. So one thing to be clear, you have been study also. Who is Shakti? That we have been studying some sutras. Shakti is the willpower of the Lord Shiva. Through the willpower, through a yogi, through the willpower, through the Shakti, realize the Shiva. So ultimately, Shakti is not separating from the Shiva, and Shiva is not also separation from the Shakti as well. That's why we study the special sutras, the willpower of yogi. The willpower of yogi. Willpower means Shakti, the power, whatever the consciousness. A yogi realized the Shiva, they realize the pure consciousness, they realize Atma, the Chaitanya, through the Shakti, through the pure consciousness. And that consciousness also, or we can call energy, that energy known as the willpower of the Shiva. So you can say that Shakti actually not separate from the Shiva at all. But although we say that Shiva and Shakti, that is separate things. That is separate things. Actually, no, there is no separation. It is same separation, Shiva and Shakti. Actually, Shakti is not separated from the Shiva. Separated from the Shiva. That you have been educated. The sutra number, which sutra number? Atmanam. Do you remember? You don't have any homework, no?
Oh, it's 13. It's a Shakti Kumari.
Shakti Kumari. What they say?
It's Uma Kumari, Uma Shakti Kumari.
Umas,
Icha
Icha
Shakti
Sakti,
Uma.
Icha Sakti Uma Kumar. The willpower of yogi who is the communion with Shiva is Uma, splendor of Shiva, who is Kumari, right? So Sutra number 30, Icha. Icha means willpower. Shakti. Shakti means Shakti here. Shakti means mother, the divine, the goddess. And that is the willpower. And then Shakti Uma. And here Uma, the Kumari. So, what is the Uma here? The Om Shivatoma Lakshmi. Ma means Lakshmi. U means Shiva, splendor of Shiva. Uma, the light for the splendor of Shiva, the willpower. So they say that the willpower of the yogi who is communal, it means a yogi, he realize through the willpower, through the Shakti. No, I have to go to, I have to correct my sentence. A yogi, through the help of Shakti, he realized the Shiva. Or he can say another way say that he will, a yogi, communicating or communion or union with the Shiva by the willpower of the Shiva, that known as Shakti, that known as Kumari, right? But same time they say that Shiva is the Uma, splendor of Shiva. So it means here, so ultimately Shiva is the Shakti is Shiva itself, right? When you say Shiva is the Uma. But you know, it was very interesting. So once I have been discussed with her Swami Viswarupananda. I say that he say that look, there is no separation between Shiva and Shakti. It seems that, but actually there is not separation. There is not two. Actually, there is only absolute consciousness. When you go to higher consciousness, so Shakti is the Devi itself. We say Brahma Swarupini, the absolute consciousness, the form of Brahman, not the Brahma. So Shakti itself, the Brahman, the absolute consciousness. And that you have been also studying, no? In the beginning of tantra. And when you say the cosmic energy, through the cosmic energy, when you realize the Shiva, the pure consciousness, and you became Shiva itself, right? So that is the higher perspective of energy or the consciousness, right? That you have been studying in the beginning of tantra. We have been speaking a lot about this, no? The cosmic energy, the goddess energy, the Shakti, and so on. I think we have to go back sometime to begin our tantra, you know?
Yes.
And need to review ourselves. We are too old to understand now. We have been studied 3-4 years before. I think that time of Corona we started, then we have to go further a little bit actually. Then sutra number and comes 17 today. Is very nice. I need to remind also myself. Then sutra number 17. They say Vitarka Atma Jnanam. Vitarka Atma Jnanam. Vitarka here they say unwavering awareness. Tarka and Vitarka. Tarka is a logical argument. Vitarka. Unwavering awareness. Atma Jnanam. Knowledge of self. So they Vitarka Atma Jnanam. At the same time, the sutra number, the 16, the sutra number 16. What number 16 would I speak? Sudha Tattva Sandhanat Dva Apashu Shakti. Then sutra number 7. Vitarka Atma Jnanam. So let Vitarka call unwavering awareness and Atma Jnanam, knowledge of self, knowledge of soul. So what comment? They say Vitarka in this context does not mean deliberation, which is merely thought construct, but unwavering awareness. And awareness with full conviction unwavering awareness that I am Shiva, conscious of the knowledge of self. They say, we shall go a little bit more understanding. So what you are going to clear, I am the pure consciousness, and that known as a Shiva. I am the Shiva itself. I am the Shiva. That is the sutra number 17. Then say Viswatma, Viswatma Shiva Evasmi Itiyo Vitarka Vicharaha Etadivasya Atma Jnanam Taduktam Sri Vijnana Bhairavi Sarvajnaha Sarvakarta Chavyapakaha Parameswaraha. That what we've been studying. Saivaham Saiva Dharma iti Vansyasitu Havet iti. This is Sarvajna, the omniscient. So who is the omniscient? Lord Shiva is omniscient. After that, Sarvakarta is omnipotent. Vyapakaha, that means and omnipresent. Parameswaraha, the supreme consciousness. As I have the characteristics of Shiva, I am that very Shiva. I am the supreme conscious. Paramashiva, I am the supreme consciousness. Paramashiva. With the strong conviction, one becomes Shiva himself. Verse 102. This is also Saktopaya. When you study very much sutras more. They say Sarvajna, Sarvakarta, Chavyapakaha, Parameswaraha. How we recognize God? What is the definition of God? What is the definition of God? They say, what is God? What is the supreme consciousness? So they say the highest Lord is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. And that is the characteristic of Shiva. And I am that very Shiva. I am that consciousness. And what the sutra number is showing that they say Vitarka Atma Jnanam, and there is no more tarka and free from the tarkas. Vitarka, absence of. They not say that absence of tarka, but somehow it means there is no confusion, there are no doubts, as I am the pure consciousness and as a Shiva. You say the realization of oneself as Shiva is the acquisitions of ambrosia. This is verily the veritable, I don't pronounce this. This is a veritable seizure of the self. This constitutes the Diksha for Nirvana, or this confers on oneself the realization of one's identity with the Shiva. In this birth, the seizure of the self means the knowledge of self. By this phrase, it is also intended to express the idea that oneself is non different from the Shiva, the self of the universe. So the 16th Sutra explain this whole world is nothing but Shiva itself. The whole universe is the Shiva. Like we say, the whole universe is Brahman, and everything is Brahman, absolute consciousness, as per Vedantic terminology. But as per the Saivagam, so everything is Shiva. The whole universe is Shiva, the pure consciousness. The present Sutra now calls upon the aspirant to regard his self as that very Shiva. They say that your own self, it is Shiva itself also. Who are you? You say, I am the Shiva, I am the pure consciousness. In the Vedantic terminology, they say, I am the Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am the pure consciousness. But how we can recognize that? So here you are, to learn and to experience. This is to be realized not by tarka or logical reasoning, not by vikalpa or thought construct, but by vitarka or an awareness in which all tarka has disappeared by an indomitable, irresistible conviction of the self being Shiva. So you can see that the self-knowledge, the Atmajnana, one not going to realize, it's not possible to realize by the logical arguments And so the pure consciousness of Shiva, no one can realize, no one can experience through the mind, through the logical arguments, even the vitarka, even absent of logical arguments also. So what does that mean exactly? So we need the pure consciousness. So the pure consciousness, as I say that the pure consciousness means here awakening of the kundalini, awakening of the mother, awakening of the Shakti, awakening of the goddess energy, one able to realize the Shiva consciousness. Shiva consciousness. So therefore, and there is no any kind of logical reasons or logical arguments. They say this to be realized, this is to be realized not by tarka or logical reasoning, logical reasons or logical arguments, not by vikalpa, not by vikalpa or thought construct, but by the vitarka or an awareness in which all tarka has disappeared. So we have to develop such a consciousness, such awareness. There should be no arguments. There should be no tarka. There should be no mind. There should be no thoughts. It means absence of the mind. Absence of the mind. But there should be the pure consciousness. So in the mind is there thought comes. Then which energy can help us? So that is the pure awareness or the pure consciousness. So here we can use the words to understand properly. The awakening of the kundalini, the Shakti energy, is to help us in order to realize the supreme consciousness as Shiva, and ultimately you are become Shiva yourself. Ultimately, once you realize that consciousness, that we say that, therefore we say that Shivoham, like you say, Aham Brahmasmi. Shiva means I am Shiva. They say Tatra hi atmena grahanam graho jnanam etadeva yadi svatmakam Shivavarnatvam esopi artho vivakhita. So like that. Then Sutra number 18. Loka anandaha samadhi sukham. Loka anandaha samadhi sukham. Loka means here both whatever is observed and the observer, both the object and subject. Loka ananda samadhi sukham. Loka anandaha samadhi sukham. So let us go to word by word. Ananda. You have this book, no? Atmanam, Shiva Sutras. Everyone have this book, no? Also okay, that's correct. Same, no? Almost.
Only different cover.
So, Ananda, the delight that the yogi feels, is abiding in his nature of anywhere in respect of both. Samadhi Sukham. Samadhi, so Ananda means sometimes you translate as the bliss. The delight that the yogi feels in abiding in this nature of anywhere in respect of both. Samadhi Sukham, delight of the continuously maintaining the awareness of knowers. Samadhi, a person who knows the absolute consciousness or continuously aware of that the supreme consciousness or the Shiva consciousness. Actually, I have been translate sometime before Samadhi. I have been study also sometimes some people, and in Sanskrit it says Sama Adi, but sometimes people translate like sometimes Sama Adi. Sam means a harmony. And sometimes we can say Sam means truth, like Swami explained yesterday, like sannyasa. Sannyas, sannyas people ask, translate samnyasa sannyas. Samyak rupana nyasa karo. But sometimes Swami say translate what that. So walk the path of the truth. Sam means the truth. And walk the path of the truth.
Satnyasa. Satnyasa.
So the walking the path of the truth or to realize the truth. Same thing is the samadhi. Here means to realize the truth, you can say. Or but as per my understanding, samadhi. Sam means a harmony. Adi means to hold the harmony. The continuity, awareness of the harmony is the samadhi. The continuity, awareness of the truth is samadhi. The continuity, awareness of the pure consciousness is samadhi. The continuity, awareness of the Atman, Chaitanyam is samadhi. There's many meanings in samadhi. Am I clear that? In samadhi, so sometimes say he is in samadhi or she is in samadhi. What does that mean? A person and life and experiencing that moment and that moment of the Atman, a person direct communicating with the Atman or the Brahman, right? That is the samadhi. Through samadhi, one experience that pure consciousness. Therefore, we study yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Samadhi, it means where one able to experience the knowledge of Atma Jnana and become Atma Jnani or the Brahma Jnani. Samadhi Sukham. So through the Samadhi, one experience Sukha means happiness. Through Samadhi, one can experience the bliss and absolute consciousness. That known as also Ananda. The delight that the yogi feels in abiding in his nature as the knower in respect of both the subject and object in the world, in his delight of Samadhi. Note the word Samadhi in this context does not mean absorption of the trance. It means maintaining continuous awareness of the universe. That's what I said. Continuing awareness of the truth. Continuity awareness of the Atman and soul. Continuity awareness. I am the Shiva. I am the pure consciousness. That is known as Samadhi. Samadhi means something you are completely mad. You understand? You lost your physical body and somewhere you are became unconscious and falling on the floor. Right? That is not samadhi. You know, sometimes people they think they're in samadhi, they fell in the floor, right? They fell down on the floor. Sometimes people, you know, standing on the road like the mad people, they think they're in samadhi. Actually, and that the word of samadhi does not, I think it's not applicable here in this context. Samadhi means here the continuity, maintaining the continuity, the awareness of the soul, of the Shiva consciousness or the pure consciousness, or or it means and maintaining the continuous awareness of the knower. So that the samadhi. Am I clear that? Samadhi means not here closing the eyes and sitting 10 hours and you are in trance and somewhere, right? Like sometimes you smoke marijuana or drink bottle of alcohols and you are in samadhi, or smoking a lot of hookahs or smoke, right? Dhaturas, and you are in samadhi, right? You forgot the whole world. So here samadhi means not about forget the world, not about forget the body or the mind, but you are aware of the both the subject and object, but at the same time you are aware of the pure consciousness. I am Shiva, I am Shiva, I am the truth, I am the pure consciousness, I am Atma, I am the Brahman, and I am Sadasiv, and that is the samadhi. So samadhi here means a yogi who is constantly and continuously and aware of the pure consciousness. Not the body, not the mind, not the matter only, but the pure consciousness. So therefore, see that Lokananda Samadhi Sukham. So in this body, in this human body, a yogi can experience the higher consciousness, the pure consciousness. Through whom? Through the Shakti, through the goddess, through the willpower of the Shiva. So you are the Shiva itself. And we must recognize that the willpower, it means one has to wake the Kundalini Shakti, the pure Shakti. Am I clear this? I need to breathe and I need to ask all of you, do you have any questions or any doubts? So any questions, anyone?
It's always like we have to be in silence when we meditate. And there's some in fitness gyms, they do this yoga practice with music. It's so slow techno music, and then they do asana. And we practice in silence, just pure awareness of body and breath and your mind. And you're aware, but then you're also aware of noises. You hear the cars outside, children outside, the wind outside, animals outside, you hear them. So you can play music. It's just an example. It does not work for me. But in a gym where they practice fitness, they play music for their exercises.
So what is the answer?
Huh?
You ask me the questions or you are just putting the answer?
I can't say the answer. So when you sit in silently for meditating, wind comes, a car passing by, children and animals making noises, it's just natural. And they come and pass, come and pass, come and pass. But the music is this boom, 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 you know? It does not stop. It's disturbing.
So anyone have any answers for these questions? Or anyone have any feedback? Sorry. I mean, anyone have any thoughts now in this platform, Vidyanand?
Namaskar Swamiji, Om Namah Shiva.
Namaste Shivaya.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
I think it's right. Most important question we have about samadhi. It's very important to know how people feel when he stay in samadhi place. And we all want to know that. And that question to you, Guruji, Swamiji, Samarpanananda. I think noise outside it's when people stay in samadhi, never mind what outside. Different noise. Samadhi, I think it's a very deep state. I think when people in samadhi, in that place, no emotion, no motion, energy, motion, moving, no moving energy. Just bliss, I think, Ananda. Tell us, please,
Okay, good. Thank
Swamiji.
you.
Tell us, please,
Thank you,
Swamiji.
отлично.
Спасибо большое, Swamiji. Я пытаюсь так объяснить, но своим английским, извините. Спасибо большое. До свидания.
Now, who is have the iPhone? Who is the, what is the name? Is Kapil here? Who is here? iPhone, who have the iPhone? They are not even write the name. Who is here? iPhone?
It's me.
Who?
It's me.
I don't get.
I am on
Julie.
the iPhone, Julie.
Julie.
I have a new phone, so maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
So just
Sorry.
do you have any kind of answers on the questions of the Atmanan?
No. No, I'm just a little overwhelmed. I'm just over today. Sometimes it's a lot of information and I don't know that I can wrap my head around it yet.
Okay, dear. Okay. And another now is coming back to the Mahadev.
Swamiji,
Yes, please.
about the question about the sounds and the noises around us, I think we have to the first path of pratyahara. I try to not listen the surroundings and just to enjoy the practice. And the same thing with the the dupa incense. I stopped using it in my classes because it throws our senses to the outer world. So I try to do the opposite, to feel the silence inside me and also to transmit that to the students also. It's not easy sometimes because the noises around us, our senses and our injuries, impulses for us for the outside, but we have to manage with it. I think that's what I think about it. That question about the noises. I don't know if that's a path. Yeah, you were talking about. I think is that.
Okay. So is Atmana understand properly now?
Yes.
Okay. So you understand everything now, right? Or you don't understand?
Yes. It's all a theory until you have realized.
Exactly. Everything is theory. But sometimes we think we know everything, right? So that is a big problem. Okay, so I think this much now. So we shall meditate for 5 minutes. Silent with me, please, everyone. So let's silence for 5 minutes. Please close the eyes. Gently bring your attention on your breath, on your respiration. Develop the awareness of the incoming and outgoing breath by breathing normally, naturally. Make sure you are physically comfortable and relaxed. There should be no tense any parts of the body. Develop the awareness of the whole body. Make sure you are physically relaxed. Gently bring your whole attention on your breath, on your respiration. Develop the awareness, the form of Jyoti or mantra Om in your Ribra center, in the Agyan Chakra. Feel the calmness and quietness for a few moments. Becoming witness what happening within and without the body. Develop the awareness of the external surroundings and inner all feelings. But remember, develop the awareness, the pure consciousness within. Develop the awareness of the Shiva Tattva, the pure Shiva, Sudha Tattva within ourselves, within yourself. In case you don't feel any comfortable, you may take deep inhale and exhale. Take a deep inhale, exhale for 3 times. Then observe the silence, the calmness within yourself. By becoming aware of the whole body, now gently bring your whole attention on your breath and develop the awareness, the form of Jyoti in the Ribra center. By developing awareness of the whole body, chant mantra Om 3 times all together with me. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sankaram Shankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhasa Kritam Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha. ईश्वरागुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ गुरुभ्यो नमः। So thanks to all. May God bless you all. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya.